One time I slip on my ass and go, oh, I don't want to wear these anymore. Jon wears them, and everybody loves them.
Yeah, I know.
That was my idea. And then now, oh, get away, Andy. I don't like bucket anymore. Yeah, you know what? I'll show you who's the real bucket man.
He was animated, unorthodox, and loud. Really loud. Andy Johnson was one of the most popular and memorable acts of the Southern California backyard wrestling scene. Always accompanied by his plastic partner, Mr. Bucket, Johnson was a part of some of the most insane moments to ever be captured on a VHS camcorder. This is the story of Andy Johnson, a bucket, and the Southern California backyard wrestling craze of the early 2000s. As documented through the big googly eyes of Johnson himself, childhood friends, and fellow wrestlers. No strings attached. Grab Life and Bucket, the backyard wrestling story of Andy Johnson.
So, with all of us younger kids loving the fact that we were doing this backyard show, Jon didn't want anyone to know at all because he was, of course, the elder of the group. And so pretty much he gave Dick the chance to drop this guy named Anthony Heil.
Anthony Heil was a fellow classmate of Dick, an avid Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels fan. Anthony and Dick eventually struck up a conversation about backyard wrestling in math class.
Damn Dick pawned Anthony Heil on me. Thank God he did, because if it weren't for Anthony Heil, we would not have met Nini or Sex-D9 and some of the other guys that basically did SCWF, which was in the same city.
Welcome to Hardcore Halloween! Yeah! We're going to have an exciting event here tonight! First, the main event! Hell! A casket match! The casket from hell!
So then when it came to SCWF, what was different and which was like actually gave more intrigue to us was they actually had people watching their matches that weren't actually wrestlers. So there was that, the added fact, and then us actually walking in the backyard and seeing like they actually put like we just had either the trampoline or mattresses. They actually they didn't go much farther, but it was at least more than what we did. It was with ring posts and little ropes around. So that actually gave us more of an intrigue of like, wow, they're actually doing a little bit more than us. And so we really wanted to be a part of that.
Oh my God!
So then that led into then me and Jon wanting to have a match, and then that was the match where we had against Commander Hardcore and Stray Cat.
Everyone! Oh my God! Quickly before the battery dies! Ding, ding, ding! After all this, oh my God!
What? It was bittersweet because you're trying to prove yourself and you're getting hazed by a couple of these other guys that were in the crowd that thought that their shit didn't stink.
Are you guys familiar with badass wrestling? Uh-oh, but I think that just pissed off Colossus just a little. And now hits him in the back. And again.
We did this match with Stray Cat, who was wrestling for the first time, and Gary, which was Commando Hardcore. And we ended up doing this really awesome, like 25-minute, which you can't do that anymore, 25-minute match that really made people kind of go like, oh, okay. So, I mean, they actually might know what they're doing. So, again, bittersweet because we were being hazed. But once we got the ball rolling, our reputation started to grow.
We were just doing it before just for each other, but when you had a crowd there cheering you on, that just added, where you just like, it just sent you into more of euphoria, where you just wanted more of it now.
The transfer from our own little federation, BAW, to all the other federations was a cool time. We went from wrestling with our 5 best friends in a backyard with family members holding the cameras and participating, to meeting up with all kinds of people from all kinds of little federations like our own.
Welcome to Californian title Carnage!
It was at an SCWF show that the group started to notice the amount of effort being put into shows. Gone were the days of impromptu matches. Now, shows were being planned weeks in advance, complete with storylines, music, costumes, and lots of weapons.
We had constructed a ring that, I don't know how many man-hours it took, but it looked legitimate. I mean, the rings went from trampolines to bed mattresses to all of a sudden, we have posts, we have turnbuckles, we have ropes that we can stand on, and the events were progressing as well. All of a sudden, everything was becoming a little bit more organized. Everything was starting to flow a little bit better. Lots of people were showing up. I mean, we went from doing our backyard federation, with 5 guys, 6 guys, on a good day, maybe 9 people there, to all of a sudden, 20, 25, 30, and things just started to take off from there.
So with that wrestling at SCWF, that was pretty much the end of the BAW, because at that time that's when there was so many other wrestlers there. There was people that liked what they saw and wanted us to wrestle for them.
We wrestled in the SCWF, and from SCWF, SCWA saw us and wanted us to wrestle for them. Then we went to CVW because they saw us at SCWA, and then RWF because Andre was running RWF. We were wrestling literally from city to city. All of a sudden, it happened in a matter of minutes, it seems like. We were wrestling in Cyprus, then in Ventura, in Santa Ana. We were just literally bouncing from city to city every single weekend. And not only that, but we were wrestling in backyards where the parents didn't care, so no longer did we have to hide it or wait 3 months to do a show because we knew the parents would be out of town or on vacation. We were wrestling every single weekend now in front of parents that were applauding us.
And I remember always being really nervous up until my match. Probably because of fear of injury and wanting to do well and wanting to top, like you said, we talked about earlier, topping the guy before you.
A group of people that had one common interest and one common love. And you started with that, oh, you like wrestling, I like wrestling. And it just built and grew from there.
There's not really too many after-school activities that all the outsiders can participate in and actually have a good time. But with backyard wrestling, it's like you get your chance in the spotlight. Maybe a little small mini mag spotlight, but still. You had your chance to shine and had your chance to show who you were and how hardcore you can be.
And here comes Mr. Bucket and Jon Marcher! Bucket, 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 bucket.
It was during this time that Andy would incorporate into his act a gimmick that would forever identify himself to his fans. A plastic pail he would cleverly name Mr. Bucket.
What's the bucket? Bucket. Oh! The bucket! The one who Andy used to accompany to the ring.
I don't know how he thought of it. Andy couldn't have thought of that.
I don't know how the hell he thought of it.
So everyone wants to know the story about the bucket, and I would love to have this humorous, just great story of how I was just thinking up all night, trying to think of a character. Nothing like that happened. What happened was I was in the back waiting for my music to hit. As I'm waiting for my music to hit, I'm feeling just goofy as hell. So I just wanted to spice it up wherever, and there's a bucket sitting right there. And I don't know, it just seemed so natural for a bucket to go on the head, and that just wrote history from there on.
Folks, here comes who is that? Oh, it's Dirk Johnson, folks. One of the members of the Triple Threat. What does he have? A bucket. Oh man, this guy's got mental problems.
God, talk about a gimmick that really got him over.
It started as a joke where I started using it a little bit more in the BAW. Then I started actually keeping it as a staple, And as I was going from different backyard fed to different backyard fed, it was something that was easy for people to recognize. And so by that, then it also gave me more notoriety of like, hey, that's Mr. Bucket. And so that's why I wanted to keep using it, because it gave me that staple of, of recognition of everyone knowing who I was.
Someone put a simple face on a bucket and it became Andy's entourage. He didn't need anybody else.
I started incorporating it in my matches, using it as well, using it for everything. But I never wanted it to be like, I never talked to the bucket once, not ever. And it wasn't like that kind of like an inanimate object. It was just a thing for me to help. It's just like a weapon that was just funny to use.
It was cool watching Andy out there with the bucket, because he was definitely the loudest, most animated out of all the backyard wrestlers.
And I would not like to admit, but I will, that I don't know where I would be in my career without that bucket.
We started meeting, with meeting all these new guys, and we started to become close with all of them. Mr. Fantastic, who was hilarious and had a great entrance. Trizzy D, Tommy Malice, who was one of the craziest guys I ever met. Really a Dr. Jekyll Hyde kind of guy, because he was so sensitive, and I saw him cry, and then 10 minutes later he'd be wrestling and just be a bloody mess and kicking people in the head.
It's over! We all say the challenge is done!
Tommy Malice never really cared. Like, he would land on the back of his neck. He never really had any regard for his own well-being.
Oh shit! Where we thought that we were above everyone else's level, then we come to find out that we're pretty much operating on the lower level of these guys. So that makes us even want to be up to their level, or even like get above their level to match, because they're just like godlike in the backyard, and we just like are amazed like how you thought you were, and then now you're just at the bottom rung again.
It was crazy. It was cool to see that there were so many people that were into the same things we were into. And everybody brought something else to the table and made it really fun to hang out and watch and be a part of.
Because we were being exposed to all these new guys that were a lot crazier than we were, Andy, Dick, and I are kind of forced to look at each other and go, holy crap, I mean, they're going to forget about us pretty damn quick. We better step up our game, and that's exactly what we had to do.
Everybody was pushing the envelope. You went from cookie sheets to chair shots, went from single chair shot matches to multiple chair shot matches. Barbed wire was introduced. Thumbtacks were becoming a more regular thing. People started lighting thumbtacks on fire. People started lighting tables on fire. People were catching on fire.
These guys were doing some crazy things where we weren't even thinking about it. That's what it really made us kind of just like, sit back and really like take note and like just be sitting in awe of like how they just really put their bodies on the line with like the thumbtacks and like the extended light tubes over the head.
We started seeing all these crazy things with chairs and tables and light tubes. I mean, seeing Stray Cat get stabbed in the head with a fluorescent light tube, and and me and Andy kind of looking at each other like, holy crap, like what did we just get ourselves into? Like this is about to get a lot worse. Guys were diving off of roofs, and again, nobody's getting paid.
You definitely felt the need to up the person in front of you. You never wanted to follow an excellent match because you felt like you would, you have to keep building. The show was set up to get better and better and better as the matches progressed. And then once the event was done, that was a good time. Then we would all head to the local McDonald's, Taco Bell, whatever poor fast food restaurant was around, and there we'd all be 30 to 50 strong, bloodied and bandaged up. Must have been a sight.
Within 6 months, the BAW group went from a group of 5 wrestlers to a group of over 40 wrestlers with federations all across SoCal. And it was just the beginning.
DBW.